Hello, my name is Matthew, and this is part 2 of my 1700 subscriber Q&A answering session, and I'll just get right back to reading and answering questions. Michaela, hey Matthew, what Borges short story would you recommend starting with? What are you currently reading? Do you read multiple books at once? Do you make a reading schedule or to be read plans every month? What books do you plan on reading before 2021? With Borges, I am really unfamiliar. I've only read a handful. I don't have my bearings enough to make a confident recommendation. The Library of Babel, I feel like, was the most interesting and maybe approachable, maybe the most approachable one. And I'm currently reading, oddly right now, is a little bit of a mashup. I've been reading a lot of short stories. Let's see, I don't even know if I have it. One of my nightly readings has been the Makioka sisters, which is great. This afternoon I was reading Don Quixote again, which I really shouldn't be. Do you make a reading schedule? All of this I really do not. I personally enjoy going by my moment by moment inclinations. When I finish a book, I feel just an emotional idea of what kind of book I want to read next. I will say, because I have my channel and I've been interacting with so many people, I have recently made reading obligations that I otherwise would not. So, like I've mentioned in other videos, in November, trying a read-along of The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, and then in December, another read-along of the Karamazov Brothers by Dostoevsky. And that is unusual for me to make those plans and stick with them, but I think it's fun nonetheless. I normally don't give myself reading obligations. It just doesn't sit right with me. Hannah A. Hello, my simple question is, have you ever read something written originally in Arabic? I have been reading in Arabic my whole life, and I just started reading in English, and Arabic literature is such a beautiful and incredible thing, and I want the whole world to know about. So I would ask back, Hannah, for recommendations. Obviously, if it's very helpful if they are already translated into English, but I basically know nothing about Arabic literature, and I would I'd happily learn more. So if there's some books that you would think are great introductions into Arabic literature, please let me know. And the one prop that I pulled for these videos, Hannah, hopefully you're gonna like this. So I had a friend that is Iranian, and years and years ago, she was visiting her family in Iran. It's either Iran or Iran, and I always say it wrong. And she asked me if I wanted anything, and I asked for a book. I said, when you go to Tehran, I would love to have a book. And she brought me this. And I know it's not exactly on point, but it's the coolest thing. It's The Catcher in the Rye translated into Farsi. And so the Farsi language is written right to left, and so the book is made, I don't know, to open up in the opposite direction from Western books, and it's just great. Looking at it visually, course I can't read it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So this is the Catcher in the Rye in Farsi. Love it. Okay. Anyway, the one prop. Skjorjor Svartur Skigjan. I apologize. I know. Do you like play chess? Do you think any of the 2020's 8 candidates have any chance against Carlsen? It's Magnus Carlsen. Um, Favorite players from the past? Any favorite match from the past? Do you want to play online chess? I do enjoy playing chess. I'm terrible. I'm not any good. I have a chessboard here, and I I don't believe I've ever had company that has wanted to play with me. And I love the idea of having a friend that would come over once a week and have a chess session. I also have a Go board, which I've played once. One person played Go with me. Um, and the other questions, I know that Magnus Carlsen is a dominating force. I don't know enough about the world of chess to know much more than that. He's certainly a magnetic, charismatic um, face to the sport of chess. Um, so yeah, I don't know about other players or other games, but thank you. Okay. Book traveler again is Alan again. Hello, Alan. Hello, Matthew. I'm going straight out to get those cats. Hopefully not my cats. Get your own cats. Dalcia Garcia. Congratulations, Matthew. Great milestones. Thank you. Questions. What are your top 3 favorite books of all time? The Karamazov brothers. One of the Flaubert, Madame Bovary or Sentimental Education. It's one of those. And probably the Odyssey, I guess. Maybe the Odyssey. How old are Daphne and Andy, respectively? Andy is about 2.5, and Daphne is about 2. I think that's about right. What area of the U.S. do you live in, and is it easy to find Spanish books there? No worries if you don't get to my questions at all. Congrats. Well, I live in Maryland, which is on the east coast of the United States, and there's actually a large Spanish-speaking community, or fairly representative. And I recently went to the bookstore, and they do have a Spanish section. In the children's section, they have a subsection of Spanish books for children. And with everything online, everything's basically accessible. Thank you, Dalcia. Ghost book reviews. Love your channel, and your tastes are very, very similar to mine, and it's good to see also the contrast in other avid readers. My question is, if you only if you only had 15 books that in a hypothetical world where you could only have the 15 books to read for your whole life, what books would you choose to be your 15 books you would read until you die? Okay, so let's see. We have Odyssey, the Iliad, the Karamazov brothers, Don Quixote. I'm going to cheat a little, I guess. The collected works of Lord Byron, the collected works of Coleridge and Wordsworth and Shelley and Keats. The Decameron by Boccaccio. I'll throw in the Canterbury Tales, the original Old Middle English, even though I haven't finished it. That would be a good one. The Magic Mountain. Uh, I have three left, and I haven't represented. I'll say Middlemarch by George Eliot, the collected works of Dorothy Parker, and then one left. Um, that's pretty good. So I gave you 14 off the top of my head. Um, that's funny. Okay. So thank you. Um, Hi Matthew. What is your favorite particular episode of the Andy Griffith Show? And uh, all of my favorite episodes are gonna spotlight Barney Fife, who is one of the greatest comedic characters to ever be on the small screen. He is, when he gets fired up, nobody gets fired up like Barney Fife. And I love the friendship between Andy and Barney. One of the main things that I love about the Andy Griffith Show is its lack of cynicism. It's an optimistic, positive show. Um, None of the humor relies on mockery or sarcasm or making fun of each other. Most of the characters in general are well intentioned, and then there's all of the misunderstandings and mishaps. And I just love so many episodes that will have these sort of introductory um, scenes of just Andy and Barney in the jailhouse, in the sheriff's office, where they're just having a conversation. And Barney is always, he's a very prideful person, and he believes that he is a much better version of himself than he really is, much smarter and more articulate. And things where he'll say that he knows the entire Declaration of Independence by heart, and then he'll like basically he doesn't really know how to say it. But some of my favorite episodes, there's one where the federal police or the state police come in and they've arrested these two like gangsters, but there's more gangsters on the loose. And so they bring him in and they put him in the jail cell. And Andy is going to go out with the state police and help capture the other gangsters. And so Barney and Gomer are left at the jail, and Andy says, don't touch them, don't do anything, just make sure they stay in there. And through a whole series of foibles, Barney keeps accidentally letting the criminals go. So the criminals keep escaping. And each time, Andy comes marching back with his shotgun, bringing the criminals back in. And it happens over and over. And Andy has to say to Barney, like, I can't catch the other criminals if I have to keep catching the same old criminals. And Andy is so patient with Barney. I just love it. Even when Barney turns on Andy, Barney is not a loyal person. He's actually a pretty terrible person. For one, he's a philanderer. He has this great relationship with Thelma Lou, and he cheats on her with Juanita down at the diner, and it doesn't bother him one bit. Thelma Lou is a catch. We never meet Juanita, but even still. Okay, let's see. Chris Beveridge says, you are the greatest, my brother. Thank you. Sean D. Standfast, congratulations on the 1700, and may it grow. And to you as well, Sean, so thank you. Andrew Russell, hi and well done on the continued channel growth. I just wondered how much you gain on a first reading of a classic piece of literature, i.e., do you tend to find that you benefit greatly from repeated readings, particularly of works such as this, or do you try and get everything you need from a book on the first sitting? I certainly don't try to get everything out of a book. I'm happy to not understand everything. It's mostly emotional reactions, just how overall I feel about the book, and I do tend to go back and reread books. Books that are more difficult after I kind of know my bearings. I can read them in different ways. So yes, I guess. Um, Miss Toy, congratulations, Matthew. So many of us are enjoying your videos. Why, thank you. My two-part question is about your journaling. Are you enjoying the process so far? Has journaling prompted you to take on any other types of writing projects? Writing poems, a novel? Take care, Eve. So thank you. Um, I I have been doing my I have a little journal and I've been keeping entries, not as consistently as I thought that I would be, but it's several times a week, um, and uh, it's pretty simple stuff. I'm not writing anything, not writing anything uh, profound or anything. Uh, Most of my writing actually has been because of all of you. I get um, a lot of emails and from viewers, people that have met me through the channel, uh, and the responses require a lot of thought. And so, if you email me and get, and then I reply, a lot more care went into those emails than you might have imagined, because I want to make sure um, I'm responding in kind. And it's an exercise in writing that is relatively new to me. I don't often, in the past, I wasn't a letter writer or someone that had kept an email correspondence, and um, it really does kind of improve how you collect your thoughts when you have to um, convey them in black and white. So it's been great. David Hall, congrats. I enjoyed your video on Russian translators. Do you have any similar preferences, recommendations for French translators? What are your preferred editions, translations of Flaubert? Um, that's a great question, and I should do just a whole video on my opinions or thoughts on um, uh, French in translation. Um, it's I do have favorites. So for Flaubert, for Sentimental Education, my favorite translator is by Perdita Burlingame. Um, that is it's just a preference. Robert Baldick does a lot of translations. His name comes up pretty often, I believe, on like the Penguin Classics, and they're rock solid. Um, for Madame Bovary, I thought the Lydia Davis translation was really excellent. She also translated the first volume of Remembrance of Things Past by Proust. Um, One of my favorite books is Mademoiselle de Maupin by Théophile Gautier, and it's translated by Helen Constantine, and it was so fabulous. The writing is unctuous and purple and just gorgeous on the page, and I was so blown back by how mesmerizing the language was that I did look her up to read other translations that she has done. The one that comes to mind is the Wild Ass's Skin by Balzac. So there are a few, but um, Richard Holmes, he did the Coleridge biography. He also did a collection of short stories. under the name My Phantoms by Théophile Gautier, and it's translated by Richard Holmes. And I might be partial, but I really did like that. Um, so there's a few, I guess. Okay, we're almost done. Let's see. Okay, Benjamin Revel. In your opinion, what makes reading books so special and unique? Well, in your opinion, what makes reading books so special and unique? Um, there are people. Um, People wrote these books, and a great book written by a great mind is an incredible way to meet and interact with people from all around the world throughout history. And the fact that we're able to enjoy that and have so many of these great works by these great minds available and accessible to us um, is a cause for joy. Um, I couldn't imagine the kind of small closed world of just having my own thoughts and the thoughts of a handful of people that are just in my close proximity, um, and having that be my only reference point to the world. Um, so maybe that's an answer. Thank you for the question. Cheryl, okay, it's not a question, but Cheryl Holsenbeek, and it's like pictures, and it just says 1700. So thank you. That's a great way to end it. 1700 subscribers. Thank you for everyone that watches my videos, especially everyone that leaves just so many great, thoughtful questions. And the emails that I get, there so much of it is so encouraging and positive, and I really do want to express how much of a this positive experience making these videos, talking about books, and the amount that you give back. It's really wonderful. So thank you. And please leave comments if you would like, and take care.